In this video, we're going to talk about how to write an equation given a point and a slope. So as part of this video, we're going to do a big overview reminder. We're going to look at the forms of the equations, and then we're going to write the equation given a point and slope. So here's our big overview. You'll remember that throughout this unit, these are the things that we're going to try to do. Our task in this particular lesson is to write an equation of a line given a slope and a point. And then given an equation, find the slope and the point. So you should be able to go backwards. So these are the different three forms of an equation. We've already talked about slope-intercept form in a previous video. That is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and 0b is the y-intercept. We also have standard form, which is ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are integers and a is non-negative. There really isn't any importance to the a, b, and c, like m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. That's not really the case here for standard form, but it is a really useful form for finding x and y-intercepts, and also a lot of word problems are set up this way. But this is the standard form of a linear equation. And then we have point-slope form, which is the subject of today's lesson. And it is y minus y1 equals m times parentheses x minus x sub 1, close parentheses, where m is the slope and x1, y1 is a point. So these things that are colored here, at y1 and x1, you will fill in values for that, and you will fill in a value for m, and then you have an equation written. And of course, you can rearrange that into standard form or slope-intercept form from there. This is based on the slope formula. You'll remember the slope formula is y minus y over x minus x, and that's where this is derived from. Okay, so let's look at some problems. So it says, write the equation of a line that passes through the given point and has the given slope. Write all final answers in slope-intercept form. So just so you understand what this information is, you do not need to graph like I'm about to in order to solve this, but just so you understand what this is. So 4, -1 is a point here on the graph, and the slope of the line is 2, or 2 over 1. 1, 2 over 1. So we're talking about this line right here. Okay, so we know it's too steep, and the point is 4, -1. That's my location and my slope. And you'll remember that in order to write an equation or to graph, we need a location. For -1 is our location, and we need the steepness of the line, and we have that. And so the goal is to be able to write the equation. So since they give us a point and a slope, it makes a whole lot of sense to use point-slope form. Now it says to write my final answer in slope-intercept form, but I don't have to start there. I can start with my point-slope form, and it really helps to write the form down first in order to memorize it. So every time you use it, write it down as is, and then plug numbers in. So y is always going to be y. y1 comes from the point. This is y1. The slope, this is my m. X is x. And then x1 is 4. Now, as you get to be a rock star Algebra 1 student, you'll know that when I have minus a negative, I could go ahead and make that plus. Now, it says to write all final answers in slope-intercept form. Well, you'll remember from the previous slide that slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. It's solved for y, and we don't have that here. So what we're going to do is we're going to distribute. The 2. So 2x minus 8. And then we're going to subtract 1 from both sides. We're going to move the 1 over to the other side and make it the opposite, and then we're going to combine like terms. Now, you can check over here. We know now that the y-intercept is -9, 5, 6, 7, 8. Who do we appreciate? Just kidding. And my slope is still 2, and look, it is the line that I drew before. Isn't that fantastic? So exciting. That's my answer right there in slope-intercept form, but I started in point-slope because it gave me the point and the slope. All right, last one is we always have to look at an application of this, so here we go. At Eagle Bay, it costs $12 per hour to rent a canoe. Nate and his friends rented a canoe for 4 hours and paid $68. Write a linear equation to model the situation. Explain what the y-intercept means in this context. Note, this problem gives a sample point x, y, and a rate of change m. Do you see it? Here's my rate of change, $12 per hour. You know that this is the rate of change because it has the word per. So this is my m. If you see the word per or each, chances are good that's your m. That's going to be your slope. That's going to be what's multiplied times the x. And then here we have 4 hours and $68. So that's a pairing of a time and an amount for that time. And that's a good clue that that's my sample point. So if you have two values, two different like time and dollars paired together, I know for 4 hours costs $68, that's probably going to be a point. So I have a point for 68 and I have my slope $12, and I'm going to write it down and circle it because that's always good practice to circle your slope. You'll know why in the next video. So here's my point slope form, y1, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Again, it's always a good idea to write that down until you have it memorized. My y1, this is my x1, this is my y1. Always a good idea to label them. Y is always going to be y minus, I'm going to replace that with 68. I'm going to replace the m with 12. X minus x1 is 4. Now, this one doesn't actually say that it needs to be slope-intercept form, but it does say explain what the y-intercept means in this context. And I don't have a y-intercept, so I should probably figure that out. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute and solve for y so that I can tell what the y-intercept is. So my answer is y equals 12x. Again, I move the minus 68 over to the other side so that the y could be by itself, and I change the signs when I change sides. Minus 48 plus 68, so y equals 12x minus, nope, plus 20. So the y-intercept is 0, 20. And what does it mean in terms of this situation? Well, it means there's a base rate of $20 that you have to pay, and then you pay $12 per hour after that. So you're going to pay a flat $20 canoe rental fee, no matter how much time you spend in the canoe, and then $12 per hour after that. And that's what that y-intercept means in context of this situation. And hopefully you know now how to write an equation with point and slope.